Yeah. It's here we are. 1 second. Yeah.
My first inclination is to sit right next to you, but I know I have to go sit up with a friend. Hi guys. How are you?
I don't foresee. Well, that's interesting. Put this in, I hear a loud buzz.
I know, I told him he was going to just for the night. Make sure that Leslie's Dr. Baby Miller. Hi. she's so EVP. We're going to this year. We have here's
Good morning, Michigan Jaycees. How are you all? I'd like to welcome everyone, all the chapter presidents and officers, 2015 Junior Chamber team, the certified candidates for 2016 models coming up, and your 91st President Matt Cerno, and of course all the general members that were able to come out today. Thank you very much for coming. Today we're going to hear from our future leaders, and we're hoping that these folks will be able to take their next step in pursuing their legacy of leadership for our great state of Michigan. Would you please join me today in starting today's event with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we come together today, our events will be moderated by an individual who I feel has embraced the opportunities that our organization has presented and used skills, learned to create great friendships, continues to provide mentorship as a JC, both with us and in her career, and impassions others to join the chamber movement. Faye Poisson joined the Ann Arbor Jaycees in July of 1999. She served on the chapter's board of directors for 3 years, becoming the 69th president in 2003. During her service to Ann Arbor Jaycees, Faye was recognized as a National Outstanding Local Vice President, as well as one of the Michigan's top 20 chapter presidents after leading Ann Arbor to their 9th consecutive blue chip. From there, Faye went on to hold several positions within the Michigan Junior Chamber, including Blue Chip Program Manager, Membership Vice President, and Executive Vice President, earning accolades as one of Michigan's top 3 program managers and National Outstanding State Officer. In 2009, Faye served as the 85th President of the Michigan Junior Chamber. In addition to her duties as Michigan Jaycees Chairman of the Board in 2010, Faye served as National Vice President of the U.S. Jaycees. She was assigned to the states of Georgia, Minnesota, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Utah, and Washington, and was also cross-assigned to her home state of Michigan. Faye has continued to lead at the national level, holding the roles of chaplain in 2011, chief of staff in 2012, and membership director in 2013. She was elected to serve the United States Junior Chamber as the 94th National President in 2014. And she is currently serving as the immediate past president. Faye holds a bachelor's degree in management from Eastern Michigan University and is a senior recruiter for PNC Bank. She is certified to train JCI Impact, Achieve, and Amorati. Faye will tell you more about that. Faye is also a 10th degree JC and Senator 68824. Please welcome to the front, Faye Poisson.
Thank you all, and good morning, Michigan JC. Woo! It is so great to see all of you in this room on a somewhat cloudy, overcast Saturday morning. But the good news is the weather outside is not going to dampen our candidate spirits. We are here for the Meet the Candidates event so that you can learn more about the individuals who want to lead this organization in 2016 and beyond. So I want to say, first of all, congratulations to all the candidates for stepping forward and putting yourselves out there, because this is not an easy thing. The first race I ever ran was for local chapter membership vice president. It was contested and I lost. As you heard from my bio, that didn't stop me. So I just want all of you to know that I'm glad that you're all putting yourselves out there, taking advantage of this amazing organization and the opportunities that are in front of you. And please continue to lead with the heart, because that's truly what this organization is about. I do want to recognize a couple of dignitaries that we have in the room. A couple of my fellow state presidents, past presidents now. Our current state president from the great chapter of Grand Rapids, Mr. Matthew Cerno, number 91. the Redford Jaycees, Mr. Jay Johnson, number 90. The president of the Michigan JCI Senate from Ypsilanti, Beth Sutton. And representing JCI, the chief executive assistant to the world president, Don Hetzel. All right, so let's get this thing started, okay? Okay. So this is how today's gonna work. It's gonna be a fairly simple process. We're going to start with our district directors. Each district director candidate will have 3 minutes to come up and present their vision for next year. Following that 3-minute presentation, we will then have questions that are prepared, and each one of them will get 1 question to answer, and a total of 90 seconds maximum to answer it. We do have a timer up front here, Raymond Russell, who will be your timekeeper. We are very strict about our time, so be careful with your time. Following our district directors, we will then have our candidates for membership director and programming vice president who will follow. They will each have 6 minutes to present their vision for 2016. That includes your introduction candidates, so make sure you've taken that into consideration. Following each candidate, we will then have questions and answers. In addition to some prepared questions, we will also open up questions from the audience. So be prepared for that. And then finally, after a short break, our candidates for state president will come to the stage. They will each have 12 minutes to present their vision for 2016, again, followed by questions and answers, some prepared, some from the audience. So audience members, this is participation time. Think about the questions that you want to ask these candidates about next year. What are they going to contribute? How are they going to help you and your chapter be successful in 2016? You have the opportunity for your voices to be heard here today. Make sure you take advantage of that. So, without further ado, let's kick this thing off. So our first candidate today to present their campaign bid for District 3 Director, we'd like to invite Anna Versale of the Kalamazoo Jaycees to the stage.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Thank you for having me here today. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to speak to you a little bit about what it is that I think District 3 has as a vision. So some of you may know that I kind of really like this musical called Wicked. And part of the reason that I really like this show is some of the messages that come out of it and how they can really apply in our lives. So because I was a little nervous today, I wrote this down just to make sure that I would say it exactly as it needs to be. But I'm through accepting limits because someone says they're so. Some things I cannot change. Until I try, I'll never know. How many times can we say that this really applies to us as Jaycees, and especially in our districts? A district is an extension of your local community. Together, we form chapters that have members who can bring something to the table and bring something together to make sure that we can be creating positive change for good in our communities. And we don't know if we can do that unless we get out there and try. One of the things I love about being a JC is that it gives you the opportunity to try something new without fear of failure, with a support group, with a team who's here backing you, somebody who has an experience, somebody who can offer you advice, somebody whose shoulder you can cry on if it maybe didn't quite go how you thought it was going to. And as a district director, I want to be that mentor to chapters. I want to be that shoulder to cry on. I want to be that cheerleader who's standing out there and saying, good job, you tried, you gave it your best, you're doing fantastic. Because there is no such thing as failure when you're a JC. We all learn something. And I think it's imperative that the district director leads by example and shows that and is there to support the chapters and encourage them to come together. Because when we work together as a team, we really can make change for good. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you about that today, and I look forward to securing your votes in District 3 for my candidacy as district director. Thank you.
At this time, to present their campaign bid for District 4 Director, we invite James Hart of the Westland Jaycees to the stage.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to thank everybody for the opportunity to listen to me drone on for 3 minutes. Tom, don't worry, I haven't had anything today, so keep your finger off the dump button. For those who went to conference, you know what I'm talking about. So we talk about what our visions are for the upcoming year. Okay, I think that our visions change year to year as the needs of an organization change. So as you all know, I've taken a chapter that was in a little bit of trouble last year, and we've kind of turned that thing around, and it's largely successful. You know, the reason why that's largely successful is a vision that I carry into the next year is you do the work, okay? You do the work. We have the saying here that we build leaders, but oftentimes we find ourselves importing leadership as opposed to building it, okay? You actually empower your people, you empower down to the lowest level, and you connect these people with places and opportunities that they didn't have before. We need to create opportunity. So my vision is to help these chapters understand, to make these chapters relevant, and to make them continuously powerful and realistic in their communities. Let their government look at them as a necessary force, not as a supplemental force. That's been very largely successful in Westland. This thing that we need to take on as an entire organization. Also connecting your young, new members, like I said, to opportunity they didn't have before. Put them together with a business leader. Put them together with a city leader. Marry them together and create that opportunity that they would not have had before. That's how you make it successful. That's how you grow. And I think as we all work together, especially in D4, we'll see that success, especially for these new chapters going on and coming up soon. And we're really excited to see some of them. So that's my vision. It's short and sweet, but it works very well. Thank you.
And finally, to present their campaign bid for District 5 Director, we invite Sarah Ellis of the Burton Area Jaycees.
Good morning, Michigan Jaycees.
Good morning.
I started my JC career in 2012 as a charter member of the Burton Area chapter. When I started my career as a JC, Steve Kickelman was our district director, and he worked hard on making our district work together as a family. I feel like our last 4 district directors have continued that vision. If elected as your D5 district director, my plan is to continue the same. I think it's very important for chapters in a district to come together and support each other and encourage each other. I think our individual success is related to the success of our district and our state as a whole. In order to help our chapters want to support each other, my plan is to implement a chapter visitation reward program within my district. I'm still working out the details of that, but basically it would be to encourage chapters to go and support each other's projects, volunteer at each other's projects. Again, like I said, if we're going to be successful as a whole organization, we need to be successful as individual chapters, and to do that, we need to start by supporting each other. And so that's pretty much my vision for next year. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to let me come out and speak to you today. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. So all together. No. I have time left.
Drop the mic.
Technologically advanced. Someone fix it. All right, well, we are getting this microphone taken care of. If our district director candidates would all please come back to the stage now, it's time for our question and answer portion. As I mentioned, your time limit for answering your questions will be 1.5 minutes or 90 seconds, whichever you prefer. And it's kind of nice, right? Nice. And just to make it fair, we will now go in reverse order. So we started 3, 4, 5. We'll now go 5, 4, 3. I promise the microphone works. You would pass it down to Ms. Sarah, please.
It's not gonna work.
Testing.
It worked at the beginning of her speech too. So, okay, Sarah, as a candidate for district director, I'd like to know in what ways you see that a district director can develop relationships between chapters.
I think one of the most important ways that district directors can develop relationships is being there for the chapters, being present, attending the GMMs, attending the projects most importantly, encouraging the chapters to be there for each other, and just knowing what's going on in your chapters, and being there, being a resource, connecting them, and giving them guidance.
Hi, Jim. What is the biggest challenge that chapters face to create a greater depth of leadership?
I think the biggest challenge chapters face for creating a depth of leadership is fear. I think that most oftentimes a lot of our leaders are afraid to pick up the phone. They're afraid to make the meetings. They're afraid to go ahead and make new contacts with people, especially elected office. Okay. As I said before, that's the recipe for success. So it's my belief that me working along with our presidents in District 4, I can kick open some doors, help them open some doors, and help them make those contacts and grow their organizations.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, Anna, what skills do you bring to the position of district director that will help you in your role as being a mentor to chapters, their leadership, and presidents?
I think the biggest skill that I can bring is my experience of being a mentor in my own chapter. I joined the Jaycees a little out of the box for most people who need a little coaxing. I walked in the door with a check and said, "Who do I pay?" And so I was ready from the get-go, and I immediately got involved in projects that I got voluntold onto. And then I went to a board meeting to talk about this project I was doing, and then suddenly became chairing a bacon fest. So I think just having those personal experiences and being able to relate them to members and chapters, to chapter presidents, to chapter board members, that I've been there and done this, and it's okay, you'll get through it too.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, your candidate for District 3, District 4, and District 5 director. For the purposes of introducing the candidate for membership director, please welcome to the stage Nikki Glinsky, the PR director for the South Line area Jaycees.
Good morning, everyone. Let me start by saying how excited I am to be here today. As Faye has mentioned, I didn't ask her earlier. I am a member of the South Line area Jaycees. I am also a member of Livonia. And as a JC, I try my best to visit chapters around D4 and do what I can do to support them. During my visits, I visited the Wyandotte chapter a few times, and in visiting them, I've met one of the most amazing human beings I see on this planet. We quickly formed a bond over our love-hate relationship with exercise. She loves it and I hate it. What I've really learned about Michelle Kelly in the short amount of time that I've known her is that she's a kind, beautiful, and wonderful soul. Michelle has been a JC for 10 years, and in that time frame, she has served as our home chapter's membership VP, community VP, director, president, and chairman of the board. She has also served all of us as Michigan's district, right? I'm sorry. Yes. Community program manager, training director, and secretary. She's the very proud recipient of 2 presidential medallions, the Martin P. Luthy Memorial Award and the Thomas Stark Memorial Award. When Michelle told me she was running for membership director, I was so happy to hear. And when she told me her vision for 2016, I was more than ecstatic. I cannot wait for all of you to hear the vision she has for all of us in 2016. Without further ado, Ms. Michelle Kelly.
Good morning, Michigan Jaycees. Unlike some people, I have to write everything down. If not, I will trail off and talk for hours, and you all don't want to hear that all day. So here we go. I'm going to start off with a quote that I found, and it says, "Everyone can rise above their circumstances and achieve success if they are dedicated to and passionate about what they do." 2 words that stick out from this quote is dedication and passion. These are 2 words that I believe that most of us in this room carry with us at all times when we are a JC. Dedication is what I promise for next year as membership director, to be dedicated to this organization and dedicated to the members. Passion is another word that I use to describe the JCs. The passion that I have for this organization is overwhelming, and I will use that passion next year to make sure that I'm helping everybody and to make sure that I'm helping to move Michigan forward.
So dedication and passion is what I can bring to the table. I joined this organization 10 years ago when I was looking for a place in this crazy world. The Jaycees, my home chapter, welcomed me with open arms and continued to let me grow from there. I never imagined when I joined that I would meet some of the most inspiring people and make some of the greatest friends that I have that I still call friends today. I never ran a big fundraiser. I never worked with a group project. And as much as I like to talk, which is a lot, I never really desired to stand up here in front of all of you and give a speech. But these are all skills and qualities that I have learned through the Jaycees that put me where I am today and have helped me grow as a human being. So one of the things that I asked on my Facebook is I asked people, we all join for different reasons, but why do you stay? What makes you stay? What makes you be a Michigan Jaycee? So here are some of the answers I got that I really took to heart. One is, I love to travel in between state and national conferences. The Jaycees have given me the opportunity to expand my horizons and visit a lot of places. This is definitely a plus for us too. I stay because of the things I have learned and continue to learn as a member of this organization, but also because they aren't just my friends, I've made a family, which is very true. Another one is, not only are the friends, but they're also my family. No matter if there's a problem in my community or a problem at home, I have aged out of this, the problem at home that they are there for you. I have aged out of this awesome organization, but I still feel like part of the family. So even for someone that's still not in this organization, they still feel like part of the family. Who doesn't want to feel like they're part of the family? I stay because I found a place where I belong. I have found a place where I can grow and help others grow. I stayed because this organization has changed me for the good. This is one that I agree with also. This organization has changed me for the good. So I appreciate everyone who took the time to answer these questions. And I ask you to think about this yourself. Why do you stay? Why do you stay and be a Michigan Jaycee? What holds you here? I stay because I continue to grow as a person, continue to meet amazing people, and I hope to make a difference. Another quote that I have is, leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. For next year, I hope to make the Michigan Jaycees better. My theme is stand up, and when thinking of this theme, I turn to music, as I always do, for inspiration. And I listened to the radio, and I heard the song by Rascal Flatts called Stand. Does everyone know that song? So it says, decide you've had enough, you get mad, you get strong, wipe your hands, shake it off, then you stand. This is how I feel about the Michigan Jaycees. We are strong. Sometimes we need to shake it off, but ultimately we need to stand together for this organization. I want to make sure that all members feel welcomed and that are able to communicate with me at all times. At conference, I really want to talk to the members. I want to find out why you stay in this organization and what I can do to help you be better. I am only one person. For me to stand up here and say, I need to do this, I need to do that, it's not going to work. We need to do something together. We all need to stand together and move this organization forward. Also communicating with chapters on a regular basis. You saw the 3 people running for DDs, and if I'm elected, I am so excited to have these people on my team because they're going to help move us forward. And ultimately together, I want the members to have a voice, and it's time that we stand up for our organization. So I'm asking you, we're getting ahead of myself. So it's time we stand up for our community, we stand up for our members, and we stand up for the Michigan Jaycees. So I'm asking you for 2016 to stand up with me. Thank you.
Before we move on to our next candidate, I just noticed another dignitary that has joined us, Cass State President, number 89, John Bedeen. At this time, for purposes of presenting their candidacy for program and vice president, I call to stage Aaron Report from the Auburn Jaycees.
So we are often asked, what do Michigan Jaycees do? How do we respond?
We build leaders.
Well, how do we build leaders? We build leaders through the programming that has been available to us on the state and local level. So today I would like to go over what my vision for the future of the Michigan Jaycees programming is. I see myself as having something to offer to this position as programming VP and the consistency that the position needs. Before I get into my platform, I want to tell you about who I am. My name is Erin Poltork. I'm from the Auburn JC chapter. I currently, as my day job, work in financial aid at a university, so I'm there guiding students through their college career as well. I'm your typical small town girl. I married one of the 2 local police officers' sons. I am currently doing my master's through West Virginia University. I'll be graduating December with my master's in integrated marketing communications. I have done 2 40-page papers on the Jaycees. So if you need some insight onto membership, please see me. My JC career. So I have served as a 2-time local chapter president. I was the Auburn chapter president in 2013 and 2014. I'm currently the chairman of the board, and I'm also serving as the local district director for District 5 over 7 chapters. I was only a 6-month JC when I became chapter president, and I was wondering, how am I going to succeed? I know I have the willingness to do it, but how am I going to go forth and do this? It was the programming. The program that was set forth before me by the chapter, the state level, the national level, that really gave me the guidance to do and create an efficient chapter and a sustaining chapter. In 2013, I led Auburn to win the parade of chapters over all 3 trimesters. That was now the CLC program. That was something that had never been done in the 52 years of Auburn's history. So how does my platform, or my JC career, build my platform? It's the programming, like I said, that has made me who I am and where I am today. So my platform is to continue on the path, bring national programs to light, travel, and have the SPE process be convenient for all members. So continue on the path. We've had a lot of changes over the last few years, especially the last 2. The chapters are understanding that new program. We want to stay and continue on that path so we can create successful chapters. National programs. There's so many national programs out there that we can bring down to the state and local level. Let's have the CLC program align more with the national level, so if a chapter wants to submit to nationals, they can do so and very easily. Travel. I love to travel. My goal at the beginning of the year was to travel to 70% of the chapters in the state. It's built me who I am today. It's helped me create camaraderie. It helps me understand how big and small chapters do things so we can share them among our chapters. SPE convenience. We need to make sure that the SPE process is convenient for all chapters who want to do them. It's a learning experience. It gives chapter members the opportunity to interview and have presentation skills. So if the process is not convenient for you at the conferences, we want to make sure that the programming team is coming to either districts and doing district interview days or coming to local chapters. We don't want any chapter who wants to submit to miss out on that opportunity. I believe in my platform, and this is why they ask you elect me. I ask that you elect me because I have an investigative mindset. I'm not just going to provide you with the answer, I'm going to provide you with the reason behind the answer and why it's appropriate for you and your chapter. I have passion for my community. I want to see all chapters or all communities in Michigan succeed through the help of the Michigan Jaycees and their local chapters. This is why I ask of you that you elect me to Programming Vice President for the Michigan Jaycees, so we can hear Michigan roar in 2016. Thank you.
Michelle, if you come back up as well. I'd like to have both of our candidates for membership director and vice president of programs please join us on the stage. Take the hot seats, if you will. And now we move into our question and answer portion. So each of you will get a prepared question, and then the audience will have a chance to ask each of you a question of their choosing. Each person will get a different question. No one answers the same question twice, and we will go in reverse order. So Erin, you will start us. I will hand you the microphone. Again, 90 seconds or a minute and a half to answer your question. And Erin, as candidate for programming vice president, what value does a state level officer present when visiting a local chapter, its events, and connecting with the members?
The level of the state members have is to provide any resource.
Time.
To the local chapters. If there's a problem within a local chapter, or with an event, we can connect them with another chapter who's had that same experience. There's no two experiences that are the same, but they are similar in the background. So we can definitely help provide those details to the chapters, connect them with another chapter president or someone who else has had that as well. Traveling is a very important thing. So we really understand the levels, not just through email or calls. It's about being in the chapters because it's a totally different atmosphere than just picking up the phone and emailing someone.
Michelle, as candidate for membership director, in your opinion, what is more important, strengthening existing chapters or extending new ones, and why?
Ooh, that's a hard one. Of course, from Faye. I think we kind of need both in the Michigan Jaycees. I think we need to strengthen the chapters that we have. We have some really awesome chapters in Michigan that need a little help right now. And I think we need to do what we can as a state board and myself to help strengthen those chapters. I also do think that we need to bring new chapters into this organization. New chapters brings new people, which brings new opportunities. So I would kind of have to say you kind of need to do both.
Thank you. All right, this is audience participation time. At this time, we will take one question for each candidate from the audience. If you would like to ask a question, please raise your hand and we will have somebody bring a microphone to you so the candidates can clearly hear your question, and we'll then have another 90 seconds or a minute and a half to answer your question. At this time, who would like to ask a question? And just so you know, if you don't ask questions, I do have a couple more that I can ask them. But I would like audience participation, like I said at the beginning.
Yours first.
Edward Haney from Chapter President of Ann Arbor. Please stand and use the microphone. We are live streaming.
This is a very serious question. In the world, I'm sorry.
Which candidate would you like to ask the question of?
Michelle, beautiful Michelle.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Michelle, in the world of membership and in food, if you had to live without one thing for the rest of your life, would it be pizza or hamburgers? And how would you relate that to the Jaycees?
Wow. Wow.
You win.
Oh, well. Thank you, Ed. I'll still love you after this, but thank you. Well, I guess I would have to live without hamburgers because pizza is, one of the 5 food groups. So, and how does that relate to the Jaycees? I don't know. We like to eat, so that relates. We really like to eat a lot of food when we're a Jaycee. But when it comes to living without things, I think in the Jaycees, we can't live without our members. So in this case, our members would be pizza for me. Because without all of you, I wouldn't be standing up here, Aaron, Faye, none of us would be here, so you're all my slice of pizza.
Good job, Ann Arbor. So we will now take a question for Aaron, who's running for Programming Vice President. So if somebody has a question they'd like to ask of Aaron, please raise your hand, we will bring the microphone to you. And if I don't, Steve Backus from my.jc.
This contraption is awesome. I feel like I'm gonna page an FBI guy or something. Aaron, my question is, in terms of awards and programming, do you intend to make a lot of changes or keep things status quo kind of how they are this year?
I don't want to make any changes to the programming for awards or recognition this year. I think that it's consistent, it's solid. I think it needs to stay where it is. The chapters are familiar with it. The only thing I can see changing is the fact that we're changing the millennial goals. Those things will change a little bit, but in terms of wording, more or less, not the actual wording. Members are familiar with it and they've been striving towards those goals already, so they need to keep going for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, your candidates for membership director and vice president. or what have you. We'll reconvene in 5 minutes to move into our presidential campaign. Thank you. Ilona's my umbrella.
On the charge, that other one
There were 5 at one point. Now they're down to 4. Considering we did the promotion.
No, but I'm saying, like, I would have cars a lot, so. But I guess,
And she graduated. That's awesome. This one's your name. I've known Scott for 16 years. I think my we're having a hard time because he did the same thing. So
I think business opportunities.
So this is right up your alley then.
Yeah, okay. It's funny because even though I don't really know her, I would propose that you.
Okay, so yeah, definitely.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Formal partnership now, I thought I worked twice, so formal partners now.
Okay.
I know, I saw that. Now you remember this.
Yeah.
You're in the right spot, honey. Yes. It is the highest honor that you can receive with an organization. So it's like, okay, and basically, preparing you have to meet with but it's facilitated by your chapter in recognition of your hard work, dedication, sort of giving back to them, to the state organizations, national organizations. So it's really the epitome. So the organization so So yeah, the organization's been around 100 years, and in the 100 years, we believe the membership has been like how it's the anniversary of that, yep, that's why we're good here to join. Sir? I've told so many people about traffic. After that experience, this is the best people. Although we probably forgot everything that he did, though. Right. I gotta forgive everyone. I don't know what I was doing. You probably different things. That's the thing. Right. You can call either. Either is acceptable. They're not really
Thanks for getting that roll up since you're really junior thing so far. Appreciate it.
So I was playing around with it. I noticed that people that transfer don't switch that tag. How much do you use that tag to determine what chapter?
Only if I do.
Okay.
Honestly.
And then you have a separate database.
I have I really only use it to find out exactly what chapter.
We have a Franklin member who's watching a live stream. He says that it's going great.
Yeah.
Cool.
What?
Yeah.
Which microphone is live streaming that one?
This one.
So I probably shouldn't make a whole lot of comments.
Probably not.
Damn
It's still streaming right now. I decided not to pause it because I don't know if I can get it back. So I'll just let it go through this. I can put it
Can we
on
do
Twitter.
color commentary right in front of it?
Yeah.
Just a little voiceover.
Yeah, there you go.
So we would really have to work on some things to get
Oh, I just got one. Thanks.
several things that we would struggle a little bit with that, so we have to.
Maybe I'm not somebody's going back in.
Steve?
If everybody would please take your seats, we're going to reconvene the candidates for 2016.
But good to know.
Welcome back, everybody. You'll now hear from the candidates for state president. The order was determined prior to the start of our event by a flip of the coin. So for the purposes of introducing our candidate for president, please welcome to the stage Steve Pappas, chairman of the board for the Wyandotte Jaycees.
Good morning, everyone. How y'all doing today?
Great.
Good. Thanks for coming out to hear the vision that these candidates have. For those that don't know me, I'm Steve Pappas from Wyandotte. I joined the Jaycees in 2004. For those counting, that was many, many moons ago. Held many positions on the state board and our local board. I've been a very successful president of the Wyandotte Jaycees twice. I've seen over a decade of leadership in our organization, and I've seen what it takes to be successful. And I've also seen what it takes to go beyond successful and be amazing. The amazing leaders work the hardest, but you never know because they make it so fun. That's the type of leader I see in Steve Pickman. I met Steve in 2008 when he joined, and I was blown away by his passion, his dedication, and his lighthearted nature. And we've become great friends over the years. When Steve is visiting chapters and coming up with projects, he's having a blast talking with members, uniting their passion and being the fun-loving guy we've all come to know and love. But what you don't see is everything he's done behind the scenes to be successful. Believe me, he spends the day working his ass off. He joined Jaycees in 2008 and worked hard on their board of directors for a few years to become their 50th president in 2011. Where he's not only a successful president, but received a Martin P. Luther Memorial Award as one of the best in the state. He also received a Charles E. Culp from Nationals as one of the best presidents in the nation. And he received the Bob Peacock Memorial Award for top recruiter, recruiting more Jaycees than anybody else in the Michigan Jaycees that year. In 2012 and 2013, he served the Michigan Jaycees as district director, once for District 5, and then again for District 6. Receiving the Sandy K. Likas and the M. Upson Awards for both of those years for the Michigan Jaycees and US Jaycees. Steve is a huge part of his chapter's success in Franklin Movement. It's the largest chapter in our state. He's a huge part of the Michigan Jaycees' success. While he's serving as our membership director, we've seen 2 straight quarters of growth, and we're at year-to-date growth. And his team are killing it out there. And I just love to see that. So they're working hard to make sure that we're successful. And even though he might have a million things on his mind, when he travels the state to come to our projects, he's full of enthusiasm and positive energy, ready to make a difference. He switches gears and jumps right in and gets his hands dirty and has fun. He has fun building relationships. He has fun building leaders, and he has fun igniting our passion. That's the difference between a good leader and a great leader. A great leader loves what they do, and Steve loves every part of what he does. And he's passionate about our success as an organization. He wants to ignite your passion and make 2016 a year to remember. So please join me in supporting our next Michigan Jaycee president, number 92, Steve Pittman.
Good morning, Michigan Jaycees.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Never tell them up here if this works or
It's not on.
It's not.
How about
No.
now?
We can hear you without it.
Well, I think I have a big enough voice that you guys can hear me from the crowd. I'd like to thank you all for being here today to share the vision that each candidate is bringing forward for our organization moving forward. I hope that we can all work together to achieve those goals and make our organization a successful organization for many years to come. As you heard, I'm Steve Pittman. I'm a Michigan Jaycee. I'm a very passionate guy in life. I'm very passionate about the Michigan Jaycees and the Jaycee organization as a whole. I chose for my theme, Ignite Your Passion. I chose it because passion is what drives us to achieve more. And I want to help you achieve more, and I want to help the Michigan Jaycees achieve more. My platform can be broken down into 3 main areas: membership, programming, and relationships. Now you might be asking yourself, how can I ignite your membership? To me, coming through the ranks as a district director and as this year's current membership director, it gives me a unique perspective on the membership side of things. It's allowed me to get out to chapters and build those relationships and meet with the members and come to their projects and their GMMs. To me, every Jaycee joins for their own reason. Whether it's because they got invited to play a game of Cards Against Humanity in Kalamazoo, or because they came out and worked at one of our festivals that our organization puts together. Everyone stays for their own reason, whether it's the same that they joined for or a different one. And every member in this room and within our organization has their own passion. I believe that the member, the individual member, is the greatest asset to our organization. Now, we can't benefit from this asset until we become more familiar with our members. How do we become more familiar with our members? and what they're passionate about. I feel a strong point is to build mentorships. Now, these mentorships can be with our normal, regular members, our new members, our seasoned members, mentoring new members, with our roosters, and with our senators. How these mentorships work is that they will be able to make the member more comfortable to bring their passions to the forefront. Now with that, it's easier once they get into mentoring and mentorship programs that we can channel our individual members' passions and bring their passions into our program. Now, how can I ignite your program? Michigan Jaycees have a solid foundation with our programming area. I feel it's important to continue to build upon the successes of prior boards, allowing the program to evolve rather than to start from scratch. Who in this room gets real nervous with public speaking? I'm not gonna lie. I'm right there with you. I'd much rather sit in my comfort zone and sit at one-to-one over a picnic table or over a restaurant. I've done it with many chapters and built those relationships with members. Now, I wish when I was coming through the local ranks that we had the program submission process that we do now, where you get to stand up and argue and defend why your project should win over every other project that you're going up against. To me, I use the analogy of a job interview. However, with this, it's unlike real life, where if you don't win, you don't get the job. That's not the case with us. If you don't win, you still gain valuable experience. You gain public speaking experience and practice, which I probably could use a little more. I feel that participating in all areas that programming has to offer, whether it be competitions, trainings, or the degrees program, it can help our members hone the personal and professional skills, which will help them in life. A major factor that will help them build their relationships. Now you ask me, how do I ignite your relationships? To me, it's no secret that I value relationships. One thing that I value probably above most anything else. I feel that I've made strong relationships with our membership. I feel that there are two main factors for relationships and types of relationships. There's internal relationships, which would be between the individual chapters, members, between chapters themselves, within districts and within the state, and between the members and the state leadership. I feel that those are very vital to the health of this organization. A lot of the time, we may not go out and travel and build those relationships. We may just sit back, be a little complacent, and wait for those relationships to come to us. I feel we need to take a proactive stance on that and go out and do the relationship building. Now, there are also external relationships that we can build within this organization. There's three main ones that I want to touch on. Relationships with local government, relationships with local chambers of commerce, and relationships with other civic groups. With the local government, I feel it's key to build that relationship. What will happen with that is we can find out what the needs of the community is, or are. Once we find out what those needs are, our chapter will then finally be able to say with 100% vigor, we are the organization of choice to fill that need in the community. With the local chamber of commerce, I feel it's key as well. Not only can we also find from the business leaders what the needs are, but we can also bring in new members and new lifeblood to our organization. With local community groups, we can use them for our projects that are very manpower intensive and help our projects be more successful and help them in turn as well. Now you may be asking me, why do I want to be president? I've been thinking about it for a long time. It's been a goal of mine for quite a few years now. And to be considered the 92nd president and to be a candidate for that position is a huge honor. It's not to further my objectives. It's more to help our membership realize their goals and their vision. I want to be able to help empower our local members and our local chapters to be successful for many, many years to come. Now, what talents do I bring to this position? I feel that I'm very strong with one-on-one connections, helping to talk with members through difficult situations. I feel that I bring a leadership by example type mentality. I'm not going to ask anyone to do anything that I personally wouldn't do myself. Coming through the organization, I've been dubbed a worker. Going out, and whether it's dumping or washing ducks in both peninsulas, or whether it's pouring beer, or whether it's changing trash cans, I'm willing to do whatever is asked to make the project more successful and the chapter more successful. I also think that I bring a team philosophy. I've done it in both districts as district director, bringing the presidents and the chapters together. And this year's membership, I feel that I've brought the district directors together as a team to work better to make it more successful. I'd like to leave you in closing with one simple quote. Life is short. If there is ever a time to follow your passion and to do something that means something to you, that moment is now. Thank you very much, and I hope to have more conversations with you.
Thank you, Steve. For the purposes of introducing our next candidate for president, please welcome to the stage the Michigan Jaycees local president's coach, Mary McKenzie from the Livonia Jaycees, and Carrie Larson, Senator number 73973 from Lansing.
Good morning. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and to help introduce Adam Bonarek. I just want to share one quick memory that I have of Adam, and this dates back to 2009, or GOT9 as we like to call it. Back in 2009, Adam served as the Michigan Jaycees membership vice president, and during his tenure, he worked hard, and I know he worked hard because he had to work with Angela Fossey as our local chapter vice president and so many other amazing people. Our chapter was at growth that year and had an amazing year, and there were a lot of chapters that did. However, the state as a whole fell just barely shy of year-to-date growth. And my most vivid memory of Adam was when he gave his year-end speech. And at that time, it's a lot when people thank each other, pat themselves on the back. And what I remember was Adam having an amazing sense of humility. And he actually apologized because he felt like he hadn't done quite enough. And that to me is a hallmark of a true leader, is to stand back and have that humble moment and that sense of humility, and to let you know that they are there to serve you. Not to boost their own ego, not to get ahead of the game, but they're to actually serve the entire membership. So Adam, thank you. And I remember turning to Fossey at that moment and saying, he needs to run for president. Best of luck to you.
I can cry. Goodness, 80 more moments. I'm proud to introduce my friend Adam Bonarek as a candidate for president of the Michigan Junior Chamber. When I joined the Jaycees, I joined looking for something to do, some networking, maybe pick up a couple clients. I didn't realize that I was going to be making some lifelong friendships, and one of those is Adam. He has been there for me as a sounding board, professionally and personally, since day one. His JC experience coming in handy to solve JC issues as well as life's everyday problems. While we have very different styles, Adam's experience, knowledge, and passion for the Jaycees inspires me every day. I've called him my friend, my roommate, my sounding board, and I look forward to calling him number 92. I'd like to introduce Adam Bonarek.
Thank you all so much. President Matt, ICP Bay, Chairman Adam, members of the board of directors, past presidents, chapter presidents, members, alumni friends. Thank you all so much for the opportunity to stand here today as a candidate for president of the Michigan Jaycees. I have to give a special shout out first to Carrie and to Aaron. Carrie, I think you started to make me cry. The two of them and Aaron, our styles are so different, but we mesh so well together. These two ladies have seen me at my best, and they have seen me at my worst. And the fact that you have my back means the world to me, and thank you for being my friends. For my first exposure to this organization came before I was even old enough to be a member of this organization. I was invited in early 2001 to sit in on the board retreat for the Plymouth Canton Jaycees. I was 19 years old. I had no idea what I was doing, but this room full of people said, Adam, we want to hear what your ideas are. I met one of the individuals that's in this room today, Mr. Michael Escanda, that very night. And I was immediately hooked. I was hooked by the passion that I saw in these people. I was hooked by their desire to make the world a better place. I was hooked by the energy that they had. They wanted to go out and do something to solve the problems of our community. It really comes as no surprise to most of you who know me at all that my first exposure to the Jaycees was at a strategic planning event. I mean, I am a bit of a dork in that way, right? I love a good board retreat, and I love a good board retreat today just as much as I did then. 15 years later, I stand here today, and I have made so many close friendships and relationships as a result of this organization. Not just in my community, but in the region, in the state, in the country, and even around the world. And the thing that amazes me about this organization every single time I meet a new member is the passion that they have for wanting to create change. Because that's really what this organization is all about, right? It's about all of us coming together and saying, we want to work together to make a difference. We know and we believe that 2 + 2 does not equal 4. 2 + 2 = 5. And I just said I'm a dork, so you would think that maybe I know my math and 2 + 2 = 4, right? But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fact that the sum is greater than the individual parts. When we work together, we have such an ability to create more than we ever could if we were working by ourselves. And that's really what this organization is all about, right? Coming together to create sustainable impact that is going to make a difference in the world. That's where my platform and the idea of the way forward comes in. How many people have ever done that exercise where you're all hooked together in a circle and you have to try to move together in the same direction, right? And what happens when people try to go in different directions? You don't go anywhere, right? You don't go anywhere and you just get stuck or you fall down. We have so much passion and ideas in our members and in our chapters, but we don't always do the best job of saying, okay, can we take all those ideas and put them down on paper and say, we want to achieve this in 5 years. You know, we hear sometimes in our history that, for example, the Grand Rapids Jaycees were instrumental in building the Grand Rapids Airport. That's not something they did in 1 year. It took them years to accomplish that. That is a project that they said, we have a goal. We need to accomplish this big idea, and we need to get everybody on board to make it happen. We need to hear and utilize the talents of everybody in the room in order to make that happen. That's what the way forward is about. It's about identifying what every single one of you has to offer for the organization. And not only what do you have to offer for the organization, but how can the organization benefit you? Because sometimes in our desire to achieve change, we forget about that piece of the puzzle. It's very yin and yang. You know what I mean? This organization has to provide benefits to you just as much as you are providing benefits to the organization. And that's what the way forward is about. It's about awakening that passion and those ideas in you, but not only taking your passion, but putting it down on paper and saying, what are we going to do with that? Where are we going to go? And how are we going to give you the skills and the tools and the resources necessary for you to be able to realize your passion? What's the footprint that you want to leave on the world? So over the course of the past week, I have been spending time calling every local chapter president. And while I still haven't spoken to every president yet, I swear some of you are busier than I am, I have been asking each of them the same question, and I'm going to share the question with you now. My question to them has been, if you had to describe the perfect JC organization, what would it look like? What would it do? What would its members be like? What would its reputation to be? What would it seek to accomplish? We're never going to have a perfect JC organization, right? But that doesn't mean we can't strive for one. Their answers have been amazing. Their answers have been insightful. All of them in their own way have talked about the fact that they want to see unity. They want to see an attitude of welcomeness. They want to see diversity. They want to see us working together to achieve great impact and change. They want to see us reaching beyond the borders of our own chapters and working with others to create change. And that's fantastic. I heard from several of them who have said that they are working with neighboring chapters and finding ways that they can create bigger impact. Like when I spoke to President Ed this week, he was telling me about how he and Ypsilanti have been working together. That's fantastic. But we also need to look outside of the JC organization. How many of you know that we signed just last month an international agreement with Kiwanis International? And how that's, I'm glad to know you guys know that. How many of you know that the world president for Kiwanis International, Sue Piperson, lives right here in Lansing? Why would an organization that is 3 times the size of the JCs, 3 times the size of the global JCs, want to partner with us? They wanted to partner with us because they recognize the value, the inherent value in working together with young people, and coming together with young people and helping them achieve their passions and their dreams and their ideas and creating impact and change so that when they're done in the JC organization, they will continue to do that through Kiwanis, right? They want to see us be active citizens for a lifetime, not just for the time that we're in our 20s and 30s. That's why they came to us for that. You may have seen on my website and some people posting about the footprints. The footprints are not about my campaign. They're not about me. They're not about representing your support of me or my ideas in any way. The footprints are about you saying, what is it that you're passionate about? What is the problem that you see that you want to address and try to solve? Where is it that you want to have impact in the world? What is the problem that you are going to dedicate your energy to in order to eradicate? I think immediately of my friend Ashley Morrison from Seattle. When we were local presidents together 2 years ago, I know Abby remembers this, she was the one who came up with, I'm passionate about ending bullying. She wanted to launch an anti-bullying campaign. And once she shared that, everybody else could buy into that vision. What is it that you want to change? I challenge every single one of you today to write down on one of the footprints out there and post, what is it that you want to change? What are you passionate about? Share it with your friends, share it with your elected officials, share it with the world. Henry Giesebier founded this organization 100 years ago because he was looking for a way for people to come together, to create impact, to network with each other, and to make a difference in the world at large. And we still have that vision today. But Michigan Jaycees, if we are going to find the way forward, and if we are going to envision where we are going to be when we celebrate our 100th anniversary in 1924, we need 2024. We need to come up with a plan. We need to put on paper that we want to be this. And the only way we're going to do that is all of us working together. All of us working together to invest in the collaborations and the connections necessary to make that change happen. All of us working together to make those connections and the collaborations so that we can create impact and motivate our members to create that difference in the world. And if we are able to do that, when somebody asks us in the future, what are the JCs? They will know that we are an organization of young active citizens working together to make a difference in our world, and we will be able to point to the fruits of our labor to show just that. Thank you very much.
Don't get too far. If both gentlemen would please come back to the stage. This is gonna be the really fun part, because I have known both of these gentlemen for many, many years. And we're gonna play a game called Pick Your Poison. Just as before, we will now go in reverse order. So Adam, you will have the first question. We will then go to Steve. Steve will get another question. Adam will get another question. So each will get 2 prepared questions. Audience participation time. You will all then have the opportunity to ask a question. Raise your hand. We'll bring you a microphone to ensure your question is heard. We again would go 2 questions for each one. We'll go back and forth. If we do not have additional questions from the audience, we do have a couple more questions up here on the paper. So if you're not, gentlemen, there will be plenty of questions to be answered. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes. Do we have a choice?
No. So you will be choosing a number between 1 and 8. And Adam, as I said, you will go first since you went second in the first go round. So 1 through 8, pick one.
Number 4, of course.
All right. Question number 4. And again, you will have 90 seconds maximum to answer the questions. With no major fundraiser currently in place and a declining membership base, what ideas do you have to generate revenue for the Michigan Jaycees?
That's a fantastic question, IPP. Thank you. The first thing that I think that comes to mind is the fantastic opportunity that only comes around once every 50 years, it seems like, which is to host a national conference. We have not hosted a national conference in Detroit since 1966, and we will be hosting it in 2016. And it's fantastic and amazing. And what I'm so excited about with that is that we as a membership have the connections and the networks necessary to not only put on a kick-ass convention and potentially raise thousands of dollars for this organization, but we also have the ability to utilize the connections that we're going to make as a result of hosting this conference to turn into long-term corporate sponsorships and money down the road. And that, I think, is where we need to be looking right now, is what kind of partnerships can we create to create a sustainable funding source that's not based on membership dues.
Thank you. Steve, number 4 is gone, but the rest of 1 through 8 exist. What say you? 5, all right.
Yeah.
Tell me, how would you handle a board member who is not fulfilling their responsibilities?
Great question. First thing I would do is I would get on the phone with them and have the conversation. Find out if it's something in the background that we don't know what's going on with their life. They may be having struggles with meal lives or health issues or anything with work. And then I would have that conversation and then sit down with them and make sure that they know that I'm there to support them. If they're not fulfilling their duties in their office, then I feel it is the role of the president and the rest of the board to all come together and boost them back up and help them pick up the pieces successful kids.
Don't sit down, Michelle. We're going to go back to the reverse way. I'm just trying to keep you guys on your toes. Yes. Okay. Which number would you like? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. Let's keep on going down the line. How will you leverage the national president and your assigned national vice president to ensure a successful year?
Again, it goes with my platform, building a relationship. Once we build a relationship with that individual or those individuals, we can then ask them to work for us to help further our goals within Michigan, so they can come in, provide training for us, or come to projects, or come to conferences, as well as voice our opinion to the U.S. Jaycees to make sure that we are heard as an organization. Too many times I feel that we do have to report, but we don't flex on muscle. So moving forward, I feel that that would be.
Adam, you have 1, 2, 3, 7, 8. Very apropos that you should pick number 2. In reference to that, do you think districts are treated equally? Why or why not?
I mean, I certainly think that districts should be treated equally, but No, they're not going to be clear. And I think the reasons for that are many, and some of them are things that we can certainly change ourselves, and some of that is just the realities of geography and distance and where those chapters are. But we have struggled for years, specifically with the chapters north of US 10 and in the Upper Peninsula, to really engage them and utilize them. And that is a disservice to those chapters by far. We need to find better ways to work with the chapters that are not necessarily in Metro Detroit or Metro Grand Rapids as a way to reach out and utilize their resources, because they're members just as much as everybody else is. And they are just as deserving of having their input used to create our way forward and create our vision and to create solutions for the problems that they see. I think that there are technological tools that we can use that we have not utilized to the best of our ability to really try to address that problem.
All right, guys, audience participation time. As I mentioned, we will take 2 questions for each candidate. Again, we'll go back and forth. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. Let us know which candidate your question is for, and we will have them answer. Again, 90 seconds, gentlemen, for your responses. Adam, do you want me to pick, or? Okay. I saw Anna with your hand. Who would you like to ask your question to?
I'd actually like to ask a question about candidates. It's a very short one, though.
You're messing with my program.
So the question I'd like to pose to both candidates, we both heard you speak today about why we should vote for you. I would like you to answer in one quick thing. Why should we vote for your opponent?
I'll let her do it. Great question.
I feel Adam is a great candidate. I feel that with his platform, he has a lot of key points that our organization needs. Adam is obviously passionate about this organization, and I think that he would do a great job leading our organization.
Thank you, Steve. So, you know, it's funny because people have asked me this week, do you think a contested race is bad? And I've said no. I said because contested races give us the opportunity to look at 2 different perspectives. And if they're done correctly, there should be no ill will and no bad feelings done in the end. Steve and I were friends before this started, and I certainly hope that Steve and I are going to be friends when we finish. The thing that I've always admired about Steve is the easygoing way with which he interacts with other people. And he has an ability to do that while I'm certainly a very social person, I also have my awkward moments, and sometimes I'm certainly a little envious of how comfortable he makes it look sometimes.
All right, another question. Colleen, from Lansing. This is the benefit of being around for 16 years ago already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nobody else knows me, so. I wish both people had to answer the questions because I feel like they're important, but I guess right now I'll go for Adam. Okay. Being president is not only about motivating our members to do good things, but also providing them the skills to do it. How often have you provided training for the Jaycees at the state and local level, and what types of topics are you comfortable in training?
How often? So, more times than I can count at this point. I think every conference that I have been to for the past 6 to 7 years, at least, I have given trainings at. I have trained for over 100 hours at this point on the JCI official topics. Almost everybody in this room, if you take an impact in the state of Michigan, you probably took it either from myself or Sarah Nelson. If I love to talk about how to make things better. I love to talk about SWOT analysis. I love to do brainstorming on problems and how to find solutions. I love to talk about how to motivate your members. I love to talk about ways to plan your board and your board retreat and strategic planning and thinking. I love to talk about ways to engage and activate your membership and recruitment. Those are all topics that I feel very comfortable speaking on, and I have been training for this organization for many, many years, and I will continue to do so as long as I am able.
Does somebody have a question for Steve? We'll try and go back and forth with questions. Okay.
Steve, you talk about how you have relationships with people, and you talk about how you have relationships with people all across
the districts, the state, the United States. Based upon the last years, your membership director moving into president, what would you say your percentage beyond just knowing the person as a GC, that it's gone to a friendship, something beyond just, I know this person is a GC? How many would you say that you have ignited with past older GCs, newer GCs, et cetera? Like, how deep is your relationship with the state?
With traveling a lot and going to different chapters, you get yourself out there. You do get to build those friendships and relationships within the organization. Now, it goes a lot further than how can I help you as a JC? It goes to the point of, hey, how's work going? How's your family? Both within our organization and with the Senate organization. I feel that I've made those connections very well. Like I said in my speech, I really pride myself on building relationships. So, other than just within the organization, getting to know someone at the core level as a human being, as a person, and making them a friend is a very big goal of mine whenever I get introduced to someone. And half the time, it's not me waiting for them to come introduce themselves. It's me going out of my way and going, hi, I'm Steve. How are you? When I go to a chapter or to a project, or just walk around the city.
So you guys might think you're done, but I'm a past PVP and we're well ahead of schedule, so we're gonna continue with questions and answers. I have a question in the back, Janice from Livonia.
Thank you so much. I'm Jaycees here. Believe it or not, this is my first week. So, I have a question that I would also like both to answer. It will be very quick. Question is, when we move into 2016 and there is a winner in this race, would the other be okay and interested in serving on the women's board?
I have been serving in roles in the organization for 15 years now. I will always be willing to serve if I am asked. I think it would be an interesting conversation for Steve and I, just to figure out where to put me, given I've held almost every single role at this point. But if we found a way, we found a place where my skill set would be valued and used, I would absolutely be willing to consider serving on that team.
Much like Adam said, coming into this, him and I are friends. Coming out of this, I don't expect anything to change. If Adam were to ask me to serve on his board next year, if he wins the election, I'd be more than happy to consider serving on the board. It obviously depend on the position offered and whether or not I feel that my skill set will be able to benefit the organization. I wouldn't want to be a detriment in that position.
Thank you. Another question from the audience. Oh, I'm sorry. Don Hetzel, member of the Lansing Jaycees.
Thank you. I'm going to direct this question to Steve. Adam already talked about the national convention. Coming off the year as membership vice president, how will you leverage the fact that we have a national convention here in the state of Michigan to help drive membership next year?
Great question. Leveraging that conference or convention to help raise membership in Michigan, I feel would be very crucial on building the relationship with the local businesses and getting sponsorship levels throughout the state. Getting the word out and letting people know, hey, we haven't had this in quite a few years, 50 to be exact. How can we help get you as a local community to help send your members to our organization, and we can provide them the tools and the resources that will help benefit you as an employer, basically for virtually little to no cost, just the membership. And that will help bring members into our organization.
Other questions from the audience? From Park Westland.
Thank you. This question is for Adam Bonner. Adam, in your current office that you hold right now as IVP, what outside secret formula do you have, or what can you bring to the current program here in Michigan that we're missing How can you apply that to the state and our success?
Thank you, President Jim. That's a great question. Traveling to other countries has really been interesting this year because while there are some things that other countries struggle with just the same as we do, how to get people to show up to meetings, how to get people activated, how to get people involved, right? Like they have the same problems that we do. But the one thing that I have noticed consistently everywhere we travel that I think we would be very wise and smart to consider if there's some way to utilize this within the Michigan Jaycees is the way in which they introduce and orient new members to this organization. Outside of the United States, if I meet you today at an event, so maybe I've met Stephanie, I'm like, hi Stephanie, like, would you like to join the Jaycees, right? She can't say yes. I can't sign her up today. She can sign up as a confirmed person who is interested in joining, but they have a whole process where they ask their potential members to attend orientation, to attend the impact training, to attend meetings, to write out a personal vision statement, to come out with goals for the future. I certainly don't think we need to go to all that. But the one thing I've noticed is they have retention rates that often average around 90% or higher. We are often lucky if we hit 60%. We're having an absolutely fantastic year if we hit 65%. Wouldn't it be much better if we were a little bit closer? If we were a little bit closer to that 100% retention mark? And the thing that I think is of value in that process is they've taken the time within that to make sure that we are a good fit on both sides. They're making sure that what that member is looking for is what we can provide, and that we're going to be able to provide just as many benefits for them as that they might be able to provide for us.
Is that enough hot seat for those guys? Any other questions? Ladies and gentlemen, your candidates for 92nd President of the Michigan Jaycees, Adam Bonner. Best of luck to both of you as well as our other candidates. As I've said, as a past state president, it's truly an honor to serve this organization and to see those individuals that you've watched grow up in this organization take the lead and put themselves out there to be elected as your leaders for 2016 is truly an honor on my part. Thank you to Adam Nelson as the chairperson of the Elections Committee for asking. This has been to be the moderator today. It has truly been an honor and a lot of fun. And it sure does feel nice and feel needed every now and again here in the great state of Michigan. So best of luck to everybody. I'm here as a resource to all. If you ever need anything, all you have to do is call. Thank you.
Again, thank you for all of you for joining us today. As your elections chairman, again, thank you. We certainly hope that you learn more about your candidates. And we recorded today's speeches and we last minute live streamed it, so we've had 4 or 5 people really interested. And we hope to be able to institute that later in some of the leadership conferences. If you happen to be on the fence of whether or not you would like to participate in this campaign season, it's not too late. You can still step up and certify and be able to join us and be on the ballot this coming leadership conference. So please, if you are interested, come see me or any of the other election committee chair people. Once we end the third quarter membership, chapters will be notified of the maximum number of delegates that will be able to vote. It's important that every chapter wishing to vote is in good standing, meaning your payment of outstanding invoices and not be on probation. Delegate registration, as a reminder, will occur on Friday night of the leadership conference between 6 and 12:30 a.m. Please get there as close to 6 as possible, and I want to be the each delegate will be required to present their valid ID, and it will also be the last opportunity for any writing candidates to certify and be noticed to the membership of the chapters that they are running. A few other schedule items to note. On September 11th, chapters will be noticed with any outstanding balances. These are the items that you want to pay at leadership conference at the last moment, or you will not be able to vote. Also on September 25th, that'll be the third membership quarter, and that'll be when we figure out how many delegates every chapter has. So please sign up 50 members so you can get the most value out of your vote. October 2nd, that'll be Friday Night of Leadership Conference, that'll be the election night. And we will also be notifying everybody who won the election at the end of the business meeting. If we have a runoff election, that will happen on Saturday morning. And also on Sunday, that is the day that typically the incoming election candidates offer the opportunity for you to step up and participate in the leadership team for the following year. So please put that on your calendars for Sunday afternoon after the fellowship breakfast to find out if you can be on the team or not. If any time you have any questions, please let us know. Also, please join us at Claire's afterwards for lunch if you are able. If not, please drive home safely before. Or if you join us, drive home safely. Again, good luck to all the candidates. Thank you so much for running. This is a fantastic opportunity for you to add to your legacy of leadership and provide the mentorship that you guys have learned from others today. And with that, I'd like to introduce our president, Matt Cerno, to lead us in the group.
We believe that faith in God gives meaning and purpose to human life, that the brotherhood of man transcends the sovereignty of nations, that economic justice can best be won by free men through free enterprise, that government should be of laws rather than of men, that Earth's great treasure lies in human personality, and that service to humanity is the best work of life.
She's like, there's three of us.
Yeah.